Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another video. Now even though I have a lot of videos yet to do, kind of backed up, pertaining to video games and computer games, die-cast model vehicles, printed material like comic books, books, and magazines, all the crazy things that I collect, I figured it was time to do a LaserDisc video. Now recently I purchased 2 lots of LaserDiscs on eBay. Now, I paid for both of them at the same time, even though they were from 2 different sellers. I immediately received contact from eBay stating that one of the lots, that transaction had been canceled, and the reason given was that the seller no longer had those LaserDiscs in stock. So the money was refunded back into my PayPal account, where I promptly spent it on something else. Something for my Commodore 64 that is not a game. I'll just say that. Now, this lot arrived today. This lot, well, some of you might not consider it to be as cool as the first lot, the one that I'm not getting. This is still a pretty good lot. Now, all of the discs in this lot, there are 5 of them, are in the same series. And while I have 2 of the titles already in my collection, the other 3 that make up this series I did not already have a copy of. So, as I said, they were part of a lot, so I just got the whole lot. Now, these all came courtesy of the Union College Library. That may sound strange to some people, but the LaserDisc format is very popular in schools. In fact, just this year, I saw a LaserDisc player in my eldest daughter's high school choir room. Yes, they still have a LaserDisc player in there. I had to do a double take first on that, and then I had to really look at that thing, because the smallest LaserDisc player I had ever seen, barely larger than a LaserDisc, and it was kind of thin, and it had all these neat displays and buttons on it. Anyway, I was looking at it very closely, front and back. It did say LaserDisc on it. I asked the choir instructor, "Is that a LaserDisc player?" Yes. In fact, she pulled out some LaserDiscs that they still have in their choir room that they use. The other thing was, I asked, "Where did you buy it?" Now, this can't be right, although I guess it's possible. She responded, "Walmart." I have never in my entire life seen a LaserDisc player at Walmart. But she says they got it at Walmart, they got it at Walmart. I'm going to go with that. But I need to somehow get back in contact with her and find out what model it is, because I've got to have one of those. I know I have 6 LaserDisc players already here in the house, and I have another one that is loaned out. Most people will probably say 7 LaserDisc players is enough, but man, that thing was cool looking. Alright, to get to this series, I'm going to show these in sequential order. This first one, they're all, by the way, released by LumaVision. I have other LumaVision releases on LaserDisc. I have some of their silent films. I have volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the 6 volumes that they released of the Addams Family television series from the 60s. I have volumes 1 and 2 of the anime series Gigantor. I have several LumaVision titles. Alright, this is one I already have. So I have 2 copies of this. This is LVD 9001. The Flying Machines. These are all part of the Smithsonian LaserDisc collection. Focus. Each of these releases is a dual-sided release, both sides in CAV, total running time 1 hour. Okay, this is release LVD9002. All of these discs were manufactured by Pioneer USA, by the way. The National Zoo. These, by the way, have a slot where you put the library card. Put those back in later. Okay, this is LVD9003. Dinosaurs. Now I have several, well, documentaries on dinosaurs on LaserDisc, so this will fit right in. One of them that I have was released by PBS Home Video, and it's simply entitled Dinosaurs, and it was narrated by Barbara Feldon, you know, Get Smart. It runs 4 hours, but hey, really cool. All of them, by the way, come in these jackets that have the same thing printed on them. Now each of these had an official educational institution counterpart release. It included booklets and that sort of thing. So strange that the commercial releases would be used by a college. Could be because they were probably less expensive. Come on, come out. Should have removed all of them before starting this video. Okay, this is LVD9004. Insects. I have entered these into my collection at the LaserDisc database. According to it, I now have 1,680 LaserDiscs. And of course I have even more discs if you count the CDs and VHDs that I have in my collection there. Okay, and this last one is one that I already have a copy of. That sticker just came off really easily. I wouldn't think of desensitizing it. Can't even say it. Okay, this is release LVD 9006, so I am missing LVD 9005, unless there actually wasn't one, but there probably was. I could easily go on the LaserDisc database and find out. First Ladies. Alright, so I'm trying to add some more LaserDiscs soon, and I've got a huge backlog of video games and computer games that I need to show, including a unique Mega Drive game from Russia, published 2014, I believe, based on a animated Disney film, a recent animated Disney film. And I recently, i.e. I think the day before yesterday, purchased another one, a Mega Drive game from Russia. Now, it's a new game too, although it's based on world events and not a movie. I will tell you that these releases come in brand new cartridges. Japanese style Mega Drive cartridges, but new cartridges all the same. The cases are brand new. In fact, they're the smallest Mega Drive cases I have ever seen. And printed manuals. Small ones, but printed manuals. And they look just like a Mega Drive release, except for the size of the case. It's just barely larger than the cartridge. Anyway, they have a whole bunch, this particular store in Russia, online store, of titles that I'm going to be ordering. So I'm thinking about doing a series, Russian Game of the Week or something, because, for example, you can get a Famicom game with Sonic on it, and you can get a Mega Drive game with Mario on it. Weird stuff like that. So something I'm thinking about, so I may hold off on that one Russian game I've already got until this next one comes in at least, because I'm about to order a third game. They also sell PC games. Now, I have a ton of Commodore games, Commodore 64, that have come in, all factory sealed. And I have more coming. I have a really cool Atari 2600 game that came in that I started playing with an emulator. Now, my view on emulators has kind of changed over time. I used to pretty much despise emulators. I tried them, I didn't like them. I prefer playing games on the original hardware, and that part hasn't changed. I still prefer to play games on the original hardware. However, I have found that sampling games with emulation is a good way to come across games I might not otherwise try and search out. There have been a number of games, for example, for the 2600 that I have discovered this way, or somebody will submit a high score at highscore.com and, oh, that game looks interesting, and I'll go to Atari Mania and see if they have a dump of the ROM, which they probably do if someone else submitted a score played on an emulator. But anyway, I'll play the game on an emulator, and if I really like the game, I'll try and find the game. And what I have found is usually the case is, as good as a game might be on an emulator, it'll play much better on the actual Atari 2600, or in my case, Atari VCS. Mine's an older model. but it's actually easier and more enjoyable to play it on the actual hardware. That's just my own opinion. And I have games for other systems as well that have come in, including a game for the Sega SG-1000. There is some of their releases were in small boxes, but some were in large boxes, and this is in a large box. And when I came across this, my eyes popped open because A, it's a genre I like, B, it's for the Sega SG-1000, so I can play it on my Japanese Master System, and C, it was factory sealed. So when it came in, well, I broke a rule that I have, a standing rule that if it's a dead format and it's sealed, it stays sealed until I can get another copy that's not sealed. Well, I broke that rule. I opened it and I played it, but beautiful condition. And there's no sign of stress on the box or anything. No crushing, no anything. So it's absolutely beautiful. And I quite enjoyed the game, although it is rather simplistic. It is an early 8-bit game, but still. Until next time, stay awesome. That transaction had been canceled, and the reason given was that the seller no longer had those LaserDiscs in stock. So the money was refunded back into my PayPal account, where I promptly spent it on something else. Something for my Commodore 64 that is not a game. I'll just say that. Now, this lot arrived today. 2 of the titles already in my collection. The other 3 that make up this series, I did not already have a copy of. So, as I said, they were part of a lot, so I just got the whole lot. Now, these all came courtesy of the Union College Library. That may sound strange to some people, but the LaserDisc format very popular in schools. Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another video. Now, even though I have a lot of videos yet to do, kind of backed up, pertaining to video games and computer games, die-cast model vehicles, printed material like comic books, books, and magazines, all the crazy things that I collect, I figured it was time to do a LaserDisc video. Now, recently, I purchased 2 lots of LaserDiscs on eBay. Now, I paid for both of them at the same time, even though they were from 2 different sellers. I immediately received contact from eBay stating that one of the lots, this lot, well, some of you might not consider it to be as cool as the first lot, the one that I'm not getting. This is still a pretty good lot. Now, all of the discs in this lot, there are 5 of them, are in the same series. And while I have